we go again, on my own. Third time doing this for the third episode. Well, hey. Hello, cruel world, and welcome back to episode 3 of the Nobody Watches This show. Welcome back to the Whenever You Watch It show, episode 3. Yeah, that's right, we've made 3 of these now. 3. This is still being brought to you from quarantine in my house, which is now known by its new nickname, Tender-jecting Street, located on the corner of Melancholy Road and Bummed Lane. Oh, you dirty-minded people. Disgusting. Get your minds out of the gutter. Unbelievable. I was just making an innocent joke about feeling low in isolation. I think you found a different destination when you took your immature thoughts right up the bummed lane. Let's get this very highbrow comedy show on the road. Which road, you may ask? I'll give you a hint. It's up your arse and to the left. So what's been happening since I last recorded one of these? Well, there was Scotland's chief medical officer getting caught travelling between her second home while non-essential travel was essentially prohibited. Seems a bit like do as I say, not as I do. That's not very Braveheart of her. At least this time when an Englishman's trying to take the freedom of Scottish people, it's actually to save lives. I wonder what a William Wallace speech would sound like at this point in time.
They may take our freedom, but they'll never take our lives. Well, the English won't, but this coronavirus might if we don't stop huddling around listening to me shout.
See guys, there's this thing called social distancing. Funnily enough, on this same day we had the Queen crawl out of bed, look at the paint falling off her walls, unlock her iPhone 5S with the screen still smashed to bits, and record a speech to the nation. She said that the UK will succeed against the coronavirus, but warned there's more still to endure. Eventual succession, but with more still to endure? That sounds more like Prince Charles and Queen Elizabeth to me. The day before all this, Labour held an inter-party election to determine who their new leader would be, replacing the outgoing and Marmite figure of Jeremy Corbyn. The person they chose to fill this gap was a man called Sir Keir Starmer. His tenure hasn't begun quite as smoothly as he might have hoped, leading the party in the midst of an investigation into said party's alleged anti-Semitism. Just a few days before this was written, there was a big leak into the party, but it was more of an informational type leak, as opposed to the type of leaks that used to happen to me at parties. That's a joke, of course. I was never invited to parties. The contents of this leak, however, was quite disturbing. This is back to the Labour leak, not my leak that only reached the bottom of my trousers. The report basically says that there was a section of people within the party who were actively rooting for it to fail at elections. There was a group chat revealed where 45 minutes after the poll showed that Labour had overturned the Conservative majority, a senior official said that the result was, and I quote, the opposite of what I'd been working towards the last couple of years. So, good luck with that, Keir. Another thing that was in the report was where one official said a young activist had mental health issues, to which another responded by saying, I hope they die in a fire. That was responded to in turn by a third official that said that's a very bad wish, but if he does, I wouldn't piss on him to put him out. That is truly horrifying stuff. There was another exchange where someone referred to an official on the other side of the party as a pube head. It's less horrifying, more year 7 kid first realising what pubes are and now trying to work them into any insult he can.
You're a pube head. You've got pube eyebrows. Nice shirt. What's it made of? Pubes? I got him. I got you so good.
Another thing that's happened this past month is related to, no prizes for guessing, the USA and the coronavirus. Did you guess it? Did you? Well, congratulations. You get nothing. As I said, were you not listening? I don't blame you. Anyway, on the 8th of April, Donald, scarecrow who wouldn't be caught dead working in a field, Trump, threatened to withhold funding from the World Health Organization, accusing them of being too China-centric. Right, well if they have been more focused on China this year, it's probably because they're trying to contain the coronavirus in the country where it originated with over 1 billion people. They weren't ignoring you. Trump has a need for attention only rivaled by a middle school brat. Funnily enough, they both have daddy issues. Maybe they can talk about it at the next teen pageant they're both a part of. Anyway, what do you know? 6 days later, on the 14th of April, the US Electoral College winner announced he was pulling all plans for future funding to the World Health Organization. I can't even begin to get into how ridiculous, petty and dumb this is. So instead, I'm just going to tell you all you need to know. It's a very big time dumb thing to do and he shouldn't have done it. There you go. I'm going to be awarded a Nobel Peace Prize for Literature any day now. Quick side note, Kellyanne doesn't deserve a joke. Conway went on Fox News, because of course she did, and said, this is COVID-19, not COVID-1 folks, and so you would think that the people in charge of the World Health Organization, facts and figures, would be on top of that. Yes, because 19 is actually the current amount of COVID. That's why it's called COVID-19. It's got nothing to do with the year it originated. Nothing. I can't believe you think such a ridiculous thing. How dare you? In my opinion, COVID-9 was my favourite. Don't ask why. The people who know. Why are they still making them anymore? That's what I want to know. Anyway, Trump has done this after the USA overtook Italy for the most coronavirus-related deaths worldwide. So that's good timing, right? It seems like America, and lots of other countries for that matter, looked at China at the start and went, damn, that looks bad. Glad it's not us, am I right? Then it got to Italy and they saw how bad it was there and they were like, Damn, looks bad over there. Glad it's still not us, am I right? And then it got to them. The people in charge had a mass panic, going through phases of denial, calling it a hoax, admitting it's a problem but with total overconfidence, and now they have the most deaths of any country in the world. Global cases of coronavirus hit 1 million at the start of the month, and this past week crossed over the 2 million mark. Bearing in mind this is the known cases and known deaths. The actual numbers for the amount of infected people is likely much higher, as is the number of deaths relating to it. In the UK alone, the number of deaths relating to the coronavirus is over 10,000, having their deadliest day on the 10th of April, where nearly 1,000 people died. What we need right now is money being shoveled into health organisations like coal into a steam train. Except the part where we get to our end destination in a slow and inefficient way. I don't mean that part. Although we'll sort of look cool while we're doing it. That's not the point, we're getting off track. That was my attempt at a train joke, and I'm very sorry. Last thing on the UK, I wanted to just chuck in this little nugget. Apparently we're flying in Eastern Europeans to come pick fruit and veg for us. There's one for the Brexit crowd. Don't want them over here stealing our jobs that we won't do, so we have to fly them in to do them anyway. Nice. Working out just as planned. Back to the wider point. There is hope here for humanity. If we actually stick to social distancing rules, or as the WHO wants to call it now, physical distancing. Oh boy, if there's anything I know more than social distancing, it's physical distancing. Wuhan, China, where the virus originated, not a lab in North Carolina, has begun to open things up from lockdown, which is a good sign. I also wanted to just share something really quick, something I saw on social media recently. It's of a Facebook post that I actually saw on Twitter, of a woman who made face masks with penises printed literally all over them. I thought this was incredible enough, but she goes on to say if you can tell that their penis is on there, you're probably too close for the social distancing rules and you should back up. That's genius in itself, but I think the most genius part about all of this was the hashtag of cockblockcorona. That is the best hashtag I think I've ever seen. Hats off, but masks on to you. That's going to be it from me for this episode. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you could tolerate this weekly, and please share this around to anyone you think might have a chance of enjoying this, of not punching their screens as soon as they see or hear me. Thanks, and stay safe.